Okay, we're about a minute after, so I'm going to go ahead and get things started. As a reminder, all of our webinars are always recorded and can be accessed through our help site under the webinar section. So if you ever need to hop off and jump to another meeting or need to send this along to anybody else, it will be available in there for you in the next day or so. So today of our first webinar of the Q4 webinar series, we're going to cover the advanced 360 tour features. So on the webinar today, we actually have two members of the client success team. So myself, Courtney, on the right-hand side, I'm a senior client success manager here at Concept 3D. And then we also have David Mantelman joining us as well. On the screen is our email address. Always feel free to reach out to us here at Concept 3D. And you can always reach out to support@Concept 3D, and we can always get you in touch with the right person.
Hi, everyone. I'm David. You'll hear from me more of the demo portion.
Thanks, David. So for today's agenda, first, we're going to start with just a quick recap of Map Tour versus 360 Tour. Just make sure we distinguish the difference between those. And then next, we'll move into a quick overview of this base 360 tour package. So what is available with that? And then finally, we'll move into the meat of our webinar, which is our advanced tour package. So what does that mean? What comes with it? And then following, David's going to take us through a live demonstration of how do you access this? How do you enable these features? And just make sure you're comfortable setting those items up within your Tour Builder CMS. We will leave time for questions at the end. So if anything comes up throughout the webinar, feel free to pop anything into that Q&A box you have available at the bottom of your screen. Okay, so Map Tour versus 360 Tour. So with Concept 3D, you have kind of these two different options available to create a tour experience for your users. So first on the left-hand side is going to be the Map Tour. So if you are currently an interactive map client of Concept 3D, the Map Tour is something that you have available in your CMS today. So this is included in every map client subscription, and you can create as many of those as you would like. So with the Map Tour, it utilizes the map renderings as the main view. So in that screenshot that you see on the right-hand side, it's utilizing those renderings of campus, and then you can create almost kind of like a walking tour experience. So these are really great, especially right now, if maybe you're creating like a driving tour of campus, you want to throw something together for a virtual event, make it seem like people are on campus. Those are great. So they give you a sense of kind of where you are within the campus, the size and space of things around you. And these will display underneath the Tours tab of the map. So all managed through the interactive map CMS for those map tours. And then on the right-hand side, we dive into what we call our 360 tour. So this is a separate feature from the interactive map. So 360 tours are managed in a separate CMS or content management system. And so the big difference here is the 360 tours are very media focused. So within these, you're using 360 panoramic images, you're using real life imagery to give people that sense and feel that they are on campus, taking that tour with a tour guide. And these are meant to be very immersive. So the 360 tour does live in its own URL, separate from the interactive map. But we do have a way to kind of tie the two together so that if somebody does hit the 360 tour, they have a way to get back to the campus map and vice versa. So for the 360 tour, we've listed here the base package and what it includes. So the 360 tour base package has tons of features available with it. So you can create a really immersive tour experience without the advanced package as well. So within this, you still can use 360 panoramas. You can customize all of the styling of the tour to be branded for you. It does have that virtual reality mode. So if you're sending out Google Cardboard goggles for people to take the tour, there's still tons of media available in here and features that you can access. So the base 360 tour package has a lot of functionality to it. And then the advanced tour package just helps you to build on that. So within the advanced tour package, there's 3 big features. So the first is Hotspots, 360 video, and then forms. So hotspots are going to be interactive, clickable elements that you can include in the main media that your users are seeing. So if it is a main 360 panorama, and let's say you're looking at a few different buildings or different areas within a student center, you can add clickable elements to just enhance that experience. So if you have additional videos or links to different areas of the website, pictures to include, it just helps you to give more context to your users as they're going through the tour and what they're looking at. Next, with the 360 video, so this is kind of a step up from that 360 panoramic image. So it's still filling that main media of the tour, but now we have a video experience. So we see life and movement within that, and we get even more of a feeling and sense of being on campus as if we were there in real life. And then lastly is our forms feature. So this is the ability to include a way to capture information from the visitors to the tour. So this can be a lead generation tool, and it's not native to Concept 3D's tour. It's actually being included through an iframe. So if you already have a CRM, or if you just want to use a Google form, all of that can be included in here so that when a user does fill out that information, it gets sent right directly to you, and you don't have to log into our platform to be able to see that or anything like that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hand it off to David. He's now going to walk through the live demonstration of where to access these features in your CMS, and also how a user is going to see that as if they were hitting it on the front end of your tour.
Hello, everyone. So we're just gonna, before we kind of dive into how to do it, we're gonna just show you kind of what they look like on the front end of the tour. So the first thing we're gonna kind of go over is 360 video. As Courtney went through, it's just, I think she phrased it really well and said that it's just a step up from a panorama. It's just a very immersive way for you to, for your end user to view your tour, to view your, physical location or campus or area without ever having to visit. And then, building off that, even, building off having such an immersive experience, what you can do is, if you notice here, we can add hotspots or interactive media points to be able to highlight, a tour of the science complex. If we move to here, this one's explore the science complex. And if I open one of these these hotspots here, it's just going to be able to play a video within the world, which is in world. It just adds more information, highlights important aspects of your campus, things that you might be lacking adding here in this, or you might even just add this to the description box, but basically it just highlights it even more. And if we want to go one step further, if I X out of here, I can actually go to the next tour stop, which is great as well, without actually having to click, I actually have to click next on the tour stop. You can add little arrows within it, which is great. So again, just as this tour stop and panoramic image is just going around slowly, it's great because, again, adding in a minute or two, it just, what I think it does a really great job with all these hotspots, just highlighting just important information that you just really want to stand out. And again, it could be repetitive. It could live within this, live within the description box or the additional media, but feel free to reuse this for, hotspots, all the different kind of interactive media points that we add. Now, going one step further, after kind of going over what 360 video looks like on the front end, as well as what hotspots look like, our forms function and feature, like Courtney said, we're just iframing your CRM, or simply put, if you don't have a CRM, you can just use a Google form. Again, you can have 2 different ways you can have a form here. You can have it just passively be here, which is great. So again, take the first steps, use this form below to discover Mount St. Mary's, like what they've done in this specific instance. I think they did a great job having multiple forms being within here, so it can really fit multiple different student types that is coming to the specific university. And the second way you can add a form to your tour stop here is it can actually be assigned to a specific tour stop. So basically, as you saw here, it just auto-populated within it. This is an experience that, again, we give you the choice to do or not. It doesn't, this is kind of the beauty of our platform, is we give you the choice to edit or add or decide how you'd like an experience to kind of go within it. Now we'll be moving on and how to do this. It's, as we've spoken on our previous webinars, it's great, it's simple, it's easy. Whether you're an existing tour client or you'd like to be one in the future, all you have to do is you can create a new tour and add it as you're going through your tour stops, or simply put, if you're an existing tour client, all you have to do is click edit. And you'll notice here, I'm sure as you've been in the back end of our tour builder CMS, there's been, our forms button up here, and today we'll kind of go through how to do it. But simply put, how to add a 360 video. It's just a different media type that we offer here at Concept 3D. As you already know, you can upload a panorama, but specifically if we just go back to the media types, it's just a 360 video, so we click on that. Before we dive into the, adding a 360 video, we do have this little kind of tooltip here to go through resolution styles as well as like accessible formats. A big thing that I would highlight specifically for 360 video is right now we currently only accept up to about 40 megabytes as like the file, like the max file limit. So just know that if you're going to add a 360 video, just make sure you compress it, and we'll go through just ways that we can make your video kind of seem longer as well. So for me, I uploaded a 360 video previously to my media library just to make it a little bit quicker for this process. So I'm just going to add it to my tour stop. Go into the 360 video settings just to make sure it looks good is kind of the first reason why you want to do it, just like with going with a panorama. Just like a panorama with a 360 video, you can set a default view. So this is just the first like frame and a section that the end user is going to be able to see in their video, which is great. So you can kind of choose and decide where you like it to be. For me, I kind of like the view of this fish. Used all these fish in a specific area. And then lastly, I think a really important setting is deciding whether you want the 360 video to loop or not. The reasoning for that is maybe you want to signify that once the video is done to go to the next stop, or if you'd like to just kind of loop continuously, that's something you can do as well. I'll have it looped. I think it's a nice experience to do that just to make it seem like the video is longer. So after you do that, just click the save button. And now we can add hotspots to this video or panoramic image. For this specific case, I'll just do for 360 video. As we kind of went over before, just, you can add a quick name. So this is just a coral reef. We'll do like additional information. Set the position where you'd like it to be. So if you just maybe want to give, for this specific instance, some more information on these fish that are swimming around, or if we want to do something more specifically with this coral reef here, you can set the position. If you don't like the position, always just change it. The next thing I'm going to decide is just deciding whether it's, the background, if it works better, if it's light or dark. I think for the specific case, light will work best. Click the save. And then if you click the save button now, it's not going to specifically work because you have to select the media type. But we got 5 different types of media types down here. As you saw, you can add an image, video, you can add a link or a text, whatever you kind of thinking about doing. It just depends on what you're trying to highlight here. And I think for this specific case, I really like to use a text button just to be like, for some specific sample text for this is just like, this is a coral reef, It's just letting people know like things that are more important or need to be highlighted in this. I think other things to add that I really like is adding an additional video or more information specifically on whatever kind of the image or and topic is highlighting. So simply put, you can even change the custom sizing, whether you want it to be extra small, medium, or make it even more custom. With this, if you want to get very specific, you can do that as well. So after that, just click the save button. After you're done, you can go back to the hotspot manager, and all the different hotspots that you add are just going to live right here. And it's a great way to kind of as well just test to see how it looks before having to go back and hitting the preview button. But that's kind of how we do hotspots, as well as checking within the 360 video to make sure everything looks great as well. So after doing that, just go back to your tour editor screen. And we're going to go through how to add a form. So as Courtney alluded to, all you have to do is we are just adding in basically, for this specifically, you can add just a share URL from your CRM, or if you want to simply just add a share URL from like a Google form, whether you want to make it more specific, or just, if you don't have a CRM, you can do that as well. So it's as simple as adding a form name here, maybe a quick description saying explore, concept 3D, explore concept 3D through this form. And then lastly, just copy and pasting an embed code, or if you can just adding again, just your shared URL from the specific form that you have is great as well. Just click the preview button. And right away, you'll kind of see how it looks. Just to let you know, for tools and tips as well, you can always mess around with the width and the height to make sure it like really fits within the form well. For this one, I think it looks really great. I wouldn't mess with it too much, but you can do that and click the preview button to see how it works. Lastly, you can decide whether you want to display the form or not, or have the form repeat if somebody goes back to the tour stop that you specifically set it on. And then for this one, you can have it show up. For me, my preference is always to have it on the second tour stop, just so they can, the end user gets the experience, understand the panoramic image or the 360 video that they add beforehand, so it's not interrupting the experience in the beginning. But after that, just click the update button. And just as easy as that, you can add, hotspots, 360 video, as well as forms to your tour today. So we're going to jump back into the presentation and see if anybody has any questions. We'll give everybody just a minute or two.
I'll go ahead and chime in, David. So we did get one question asking about links in the text box. So one of the hotspots that we have available is a link. So we would recommend using that hotspot versus adding them into the text hotspot option. So if you want to pull that up on the screen really quick, David, that might just be good to show all those options of hotspots you have available.
Yeah, that's a great question. So again, just going back to this add hotspot button, you can add a link out to your site. So just be able to link back to your website through, highlighting a specific building or, whatever you want to highlight to. We do have an option for that kind of link hotspot.
All right, we'll go ahead and give everyone one more minute, see if any questions come to mind. All right, well, we'll go ahead and give everyone, we got a question. Just, I spoke too soon. Okay, so let's see. Is the hotspot feature available to a test tour builder, or is it only available for the paid service? Great question. So hotspots are only available within the paid service. So if hotspots are something that you are interested in, what I recommend doing is reaching out to your client success manager and just kind of running through that with them. And then they can always maybe open it up to your account for a week or so to see if it's something that would be of value. So definitely reach out to your client success manager and we can work with you to get your account set up. Okay. And then another question was, are there any responsive issues with embedding the form? So there are not any responsive issues with embedding the form. So a good thing to note with our 360 tour is that it is responsive across all devices. And so any feature that we do include within the tour itself will always be responsive across all those different devices as well. So you won't see any issues regardless of if somebody hits the tour on a desktop or a mobile device.
Those are all great questions. Well, all right. I think if anybody has any other last minute questions, I think this is pretty much all we've got for you today. We really appreciate you tuning in, not only to just explaining what the advanced tour package is, as well as kind of just seeing what it looks like and, how easy it is to kind of input it within our, tour builder CMS backend. So
Yeah, thanks, David. And as a reminder, everyone, this was recorded. So if you need to refer back to it, you can find it on our help site. And then as always, if you have any additional questions come up once this is over, please feel free to reach out at support@concept3d.com or directly to your client success manager if you know who that is. And we're always happy to discuss these further with you. All right, thanks everyone. Have a good rest of your day.